died at the hand of an assassin. He led a peaceful resistance movement to free India from British rule. Yet, independent India was born at an hour of brutal carnage. Amid sectarian killings on an unprecedented scale, Gandhi risked his life to preach non-violence until his dying day.
The origins of the India-Pakistan conflict. Let's step back to the late 1930s. At this time, India is still under British colonial rule. The Second World War is raging in Europe. Britain needs soldiers, money, and resources from India. But in return, Indians are demanding something big: freedom. At this time, two major political forces dominate Indian politics. On one side, the Indian National Congress, led by leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, and others. They speak about independence for all Indians, regardless of religion. On the other side, the All India Muslim League, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The League argues that Muslims are a separate community with their own culture and need guarantees for their future. The cracks begin to show. In 1937, provincial elections are held under British supervision. The Congress does well and forms governments in several provinces. But the Muslim League performs poorly, winning only a small share of Muslim seats. For many Muslims, this is worrying. If Congress dominates, where will their voice be? Jinnah seizes on this fear. He begins to argue that Muslims need their own political homeland. This idea is not yet Pakistan, but the seeds are being planted. The 1940 Lahore Resolution. You see, by 1940, Jinnah and the Muslim League make a historic move. At a gathering in Lahore, they pass what comes to be called the Pakistan Resolution. It states that Muslims in the northwestern and eastern parts of India should have independent states. This doesn't yet mean a single country named Pakistan. But it's a clear declaration. Muslims need a separate future, not just minority rights inside a Hindu-majority India. The Congress rejects this idea. Gandhi and Nehru believe India must remain united. They argue Hindus and Muslims have lived together for centuries, and separation will only bring disaster. But mistrust is already running deep. The war years and the Quit India movement. In 1942, Britain faces crises in the war. The Congress launches the Quit India movement, demanding the British leave immediately. The British respond with mass arrests. The Congress leadership is thrown into jail. Meanwhile, the Muslim League is not suppressed in the same way. It uses this period to grow stronger, to spread the idea that Muslims need their own country. By the end of the war, Pakistan is no longer just an idea. It is a demand. The final years of British rule. By 1945, the war is over. Britain is exhausted, broke, and in no mood to hold on to India. It wants to leave. Elections are held again. This time, the Muslim League does far better, winning almost every seat reserved for Muslims. The message is loud and clear. Large numbers of Indian Muslims back Jinnah. Talks are held to find a compromise. Could India remain one, but with special protections for Muslims? Could it be a federation with strong autonomy for provinces? Every attempt collapses. Nehru insists on a strong central government. Jinnah insists on real independence for Muslim-majority areas. Neither side bends. Mountbatten and the partition. In 1947, Britain decides to quit India. Lord Mountbatten, the last viceroy, is tasked with overseeing the transfer of power. Partition becomes unavoidable. A line will be drawn on the map. Two new countries will be born: India and Pakistan. Pakistan will have two wings, West Pakistan and East Pakistan, separated by over 1,000 miles of Indian territory. The decision comes fast, too fast. Maps are drawn hastily by a British lawyer, Cyril Radcliffe, who has never been to India before. Villages, districts, even houses are split. Millions of people find themselves on the wrong side of the border overnight. The partition violence. The announcement of partition unleashes chaos. Communities that had lived side by side for generations turn against each other. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Each group fears domination or persecution by the other. Violence spreads like wildfire. Trains full of refugees are attacked. Entire villages are wiped out. Estimates suggest that up to 1 million people die. Over 10 million are displaced, forced to cross borders in desperate conditions. This is how India and Pakistan are born in fire, blood, and grief. The First Kashmir War, 1947 to 1948. Barely 2 months after independence, another conflict erupts. The princely state of Jammu and Kashmir becomes the flashpoint. Here's the background. You see, Kashmir is a Muslim-majority region, but its ruler, Maharaja Hari Singh, is Hindu. At first, he hesitates to join either India or Pakistan. He dreams of staying independent. But in October 1947, tribal fighters from Pakistan's side, backed unofficially by Pakistani forces, invaded Kashmir. They say they are liberating their Muslim brothers. The Maharaja panics and appeals to India for help. India agrees on one condition: Kashmir must accede to India. The Maharaja signs the document, and Indian troops are flown in. A brutal war follows. Neither side wins outright. By 1948, the United Nations brokers a ceasefire. Kashmir is divided. Pakistan controls the west, India the rest, including the Kashmir Valley. Both countries claim the whole region, and both vow not to give it up. This Kashmir dispute plants the seed for decades of hostility. The War of 1965 begins here. But before that, the scars of the partition remain raw. Refugees struggle to rebuild their lives. Relations between the two countries are poisoned by mistrust. Talks fail to resolve Kashmir. Each side accuses the other of betrayal. And in the early years, there was still another war waiting to erupt. The 1948 War and aftermath. Back in 1948, the First Kashmir War ended, but not peacefully. The ceasefire line, what we now call the line of control, becomes the de facto border. Pakistan calls it an incomplete mission since only part of Kashmir is in its hands. India insists the entire state legally belongs to it. This unfinished business will fuel future wars. Tensions in the 1950s. Through the 1950s, the hostility doesn't fade. Pakistan, feeling insecure, begins to align with Western powers like the United States. India, meanwhile, pursues a path of non-alignment under Nehru. Both countries pour scarce resources into their militaries instead of development. Skirmishes continue along the Kashmir border. Propaganda flows across both sides. Children in schools are taught stories of betrayal and enmity. The hope of friendship dwindles. At this point, by the mid-1950s, both nations were locked in a rivalry that seemed unending. So that is the unfortunate story. From the late colonial years in the 1930s to the bloody birth of India and Pakistan, and the wars that followed in the first decade of independence. The partition was not just a line on a map. It was a wound that shaped millions of lives. It set India and Pakistan on a collision course, and its echoes are still felt today. You see, to keep this video short, I have just scratched the surface of some of the wars these two have had. I didn't even mention the May 2025 war after the Pahalgam massacre. If you want details in a separate video for each war, please let me know. Just like Muhammad Kemal Ataturk of Turkey, Muhammad Ali Jinnah is known as the father of Pakistan, while Gandhi is known as the father of India. He was a pioneer of non-violence resistance, yet ironically, he was deleted by a Hindu nationalist in 1948.
Karamchand Gandhi evoked mixed feelings. He was viewed alternatively as a fanatic or an eccentric, a reactionary, revolutionary, saint or messiah, or as a man who must be.
Thanks so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think or what topics you'd like to see next. Also remember, sip and subscribe. The button is down there, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on new content. Stay awesome, stay hydrated, and I'll catch you in the next one.